Hello, my name is Sam and I play the poet.
Hello, I'm Luke and I play the romantic.
Hi, I'm Alex and I'm a swing.
Hi, I'm Brad, I'm a swing.
I'm Sam, I play the Joker.
Hi, I'm Rob and I play Beast.
I'm Ben and I play the handyman.
I'm Benga and I play the boar.
I'm Dickie, I'm also a swinger.
Theme for Mental Health Awareness Week is movement. Why do you think movement is so helpful for mental health? And do any of you have any routines related to regular movement? And apart from the show, obviously, which is pretty intensely physical. Running, sports, exercise. What's your jam? Who wants to start? Don't make me pick.
I've been running every day for 560 days each now. That's what it means of just keeping away the heebie-jeebies. It sorts me out. Just getting that serotonin lift in the morning, getting outside, a bit of vitamin D, and it tends to set my base level happiness a bit higher than it would be otherwise.
Beautiful, thank you. Anyone else? We'll take that.
Just because it's quite relevant recently for me. I dropped in and out of fitness, but recently I've just signed into a regime to get back into a routine, and I've been in it about a week and a half now, and already I'm seeing loads of benefits at work here. It's amazing. Not just at work, just in my life, just generally the way you feel, you release those endorphins. So, and it doesn't take very much. I've only been doing a week and a half regularly again. So, I'm keep going, that's going to get better.
So this does actually relate to the show, but one of the things we do when we come in and we start is we do a physical warm-up before we do a vocal warm-up. And I find, so I live in Brighton, so I'm kind of commuting back and forth to do the show, and some days I'm on the train and I'm absolutely knackered. I have two youngish kids, they're keeping me on my toes. And I genuinely sometimes don't know how I'm going to get through the show, and the physical warm-up starts, and it's a cheesy piece of music that we do a bunch of the same routine before every single show, and I just find my mood just lifting that little bit more as the physical warm-up goes on. It's a kind of very simple thing, but it does make a massive difference.
For me, it's something as simple as just taking dogs for a walk with my partner. Literally, and they're cocker spaniels as well, so they need a lot of walking. And so that hour and a half is really, really good actually for the mental health actually. And seeing those two little cops run around me just does wonders. So yeah, that's kind of my movement and the enjoyment I get out of it. So.
Anyone else on just general movement or fitness routines?
Do a lot of yoga. Yeah. Bend and breathe.
Mic drop. Right, brilliant. Ben, thank you for saying about the show, because actually that's the next question we're going to go on to. I mean, we all know, you've seen the show, it's relentless physically, it's non-stop. So how do you actually look after yourself physically for the production specifically, and what are your favourite parts, choreography and physicality of the show?
I like it when we sit down. That's my favourite part of the show. As you say, we are on our feet for 90 minutes plus. It's a mad one, especially for my character, because I do a 4-minute tap routine where I'm jumping from bar to table, table to bar, and I like this when we sit down and just
Yeah, I think the show takes a lot of stamina, so I think you really feel it once you've had a week off or you've been on holiday for a week and you come back. That first show back is horrendous at times. So it's definitely important to do the little things, whether that's go for a quick walk, whether that's do a whole gym session. Those little things really do make a difference for the show and improve your stamina.
Yeah, something you don't realise, but you have little breaks away and stuff, and there's the word show fit. And you get around and either you're a ball of sweat or you're just a bit done. It's you can see the scale of where you are in between and use it as a marker post throughout your life. With needing to get back up or
My favourite bit of choreography in the show, pretty obvious one. We do this cup dance. It's the final song of the show. And so I came to the show having not done theatre before, and in the third kind of final round of auditions, we had to do a short version of the cup dance, and there was a kind of physical kind of workshop, movement workshop. And I genuinely have not done anything for a long time that had been so like physically and mentally challenging. And so every time we finish the cup dance in the show, I feel this enormous sense of achievement that like I can kind of do it, not quite without thinking about it, but it's that thing of actually working towards a thing very, very gradually and incrementally. Then every once in a while you catch yourself and you go, oh, actually, I've made loads of progress with this. It's a kind of big, boost to your kind of mental well-being and self-esteem, I think, to think, oh yeah, I can work at something gradually and make these changes.
I would say as well, in terms of keeping like well and being able to do the show, it's like getting sleep. Like I tend to sleep like 10 hours minimum. If I don't, then I start getting run down. So like just looking after yourself, sleeping and eating well. As soon as you start just eating meal deals all day, then you start to get run down, and it's like a big thing.
Any other fitness, well-being, self-care tips?
We do also have our own physio team which come in twice a month, isn't it? Yeah, once every 2 weeks. And again, just for like any kind of niggles, aches and pains, we always see Daryl and his team, and they're a lifesaver.
They also do a lot of great prevention work with us as well. So if we know we've got weaknesses in our own performances, we'll assess that with the team that comes in, which is always great and helps.
It's always easier to prevent an injury than treat one. Always. That's where we go. It doesn't always happen like that, but here we really, really strive towards that. Which I think has been massive for me.
Oh, thank you guys. Okay, going to move on slightly more mental health question now. Obviously, I mean, it's one of my favourite bits of the entire show, that there's the moment where you sort of talk about yourselves and your life, and Sam talks about the rest of you, and obviously that goes quite deep. How do you sort of look after your mental health during those moments that might, you know, if there's something that really touches you or brings you deep? I mean, 8 shows a week, or however many shows you're doing, and why do you think that section of the show is so important? Do you ever find it hard to be part of?
I think from a poet perspective, there's a real responsibility to get people's stories across and what home means to them, and so it naturally has to have that weight and that honesty and depth. And I think that sometimes can trigger a little something with what's happened the day leading up. I know I had a day a couple of weeks ago where there's stuff going on at home and family back in Wales, and I started saying my speech, and it just touched me a little bit, and I think it grounds you a little bit. It makes you realise that, you know, home and you know, anything that kind of means a lot to you is important to look after, and it's good to talk about it. I think my favourite part about this home speech is that every single person on the stage has gone through something completely different up to this point, and now we're all here sharing this moment, and with all of us being so open and honest with the words that get said every day is important, and there is something for 350 people per show to connect with, and that's really special. But, so yeah.
And hearing your own story, or bringing that process of finding those words. I mean, anyone else who's
I suppose it's a bit like a tally, like when you are doing the 8 shows a week and you get that reminder every day. Sometimes you hear it, sometimes you hear a different bit of it, sometimes you don't hear it, sometimes you're emotional, like Sam was saying, if something's happened in your day. But I think it's a good sort of ticker tape, like going click, click, click every day, and it checks you in, because no matter what you're doing or who you're pretending to be or how you are feeling, that moment will always go. And I think it's a good thing to consistently look at.
I think, sorry, I was going to say, from the audience perspective, I think it's really nice because the show kind of preaches positive mental health and like talking and communicating, and it's very easy for the audience to look at us and think, oh, we're just actors, we've been told to say this, and that point in the show is where we go, okay, like, we'll show you, like, we'll actually be real people for a moment, and let you into our lives, and I think it might kind of reach people different ways and be like, oh, well, if they can do it in front of 350 people, then I feel a bit more open to sharing and talking about it.
Well, that actually leads into my next question, which is, what have been some of your favourite audience reactions or moments with your castmates or moments with, audience members in the pre-show or afterwards? What's this show? This show is obviously about connection. So, can you speak to that a bit?
One of my first ever shows as a swing, I remember I was playing Maestro, and I did my first full week as Maestro, and I remember coming out, it was the Sunday show, so it was the last show of the week, and I came out to the bar area there, and this one gentleman came out to me, he was about 6'6" tall, and about 6'6" wide, absolutely huge, and he came up to me with a tear in his eye, and he just went, thank you. What I saw on stage tonight of you lot talking about what home means to you, that's what we do in the army, and when we miss home, those conversations have happened in my profession, and just to hear someone say, I can relate to that moment, and that was so special to see a group of guys go through that moment. I've never seen that, and thank you. So that was pretty special.
There's almost too many to mention because it happens so often. But obviously this stage is quite small and we can see everyone, as long as the light's not too bright. So it's, yes, we're meant to be, we're kind of in character, half in character, and we're in our world and we're singing a song and portraying a story. But we can see people, and my eyes do wander, particularly in Dance With My Father Again, which is Sam's song. I'm sat up on the bar and I have a really good view. And the amount of people I see who connect with that song in particular, and I can see them up there, down here, having a moment, and I can see that they're hugging each other and really experiencing that moment with Sam as he's singing the song on all of us. So that's one thing that always strikes me. And another thing more specific, literally the other day, so we have audience participation, and I brought a lady up from the back. And she was moving quite slow, I didn't think much about it, but I got her up, and then I got her, and I had to see them at the bar, and she said, oh, do you mind if I just stand? I'm having surgery, and I can't sit down, I can't put weight that way. And I said, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. And I immediately felt bad for picking her. I was like, I apologise, and she was like, no, it's fine. Honestly, I'm thrilled to be here. She actually DM'd me later that night, she found me on Instagram, and she said, I just want to say thank you for picking me. Obviously, I'm going through surgery, it's not going the way we hope, but for those 90 minutes that I was in that theatre with all of you, I was able to forget about it. And I just think that's everything really. That's my goal, that is my main goal when I'm here, to let people leave their problems at the door for those 90 minutes. Just make them a little bit lighter, maybe when they come out. And that was a prime example, maybe it's about 4 days ago.
Beautiful, I actually feel a bit emotional. Okay, just to round this section off then, if somebody came to you for a loved one or a friend, or even a stranger came to you and said, you know what, I'm struggling a bit, just a really simple, what's your first reaction, what do you give to that person? How?
We say let's talk about it. We'll try and make the time so they feel like they're heard and they can express something that's a bit more real, because as you go through your day, I think it's very easy to ask people how they're doing almost as a greeting. It's like a formula, and you don't know the stuff that people are going through, and I think giving someone an in to be like, well, look, if you do want to talk about it, we can talk about it. Nothing you can say is going to make me think any less of you. I think it's like a massive thing you can give someone, even if it's not someone you know that well.
Listen is the best thing I'd say. Just listen. If someone wants to talk, be there, and just show that you're happy and ready to listen. Little things like put your phone upside down. Don't let it be there and see it light up, because that might think, oh, we've got other important things. No, this is what's important right now. Give that person that time.
Beautiful. So I'm feeling a bit emotional for all of this, so I'm going to wrap my own bit up. Guys, on the floor, are there any?
So obviously, as we know, mental health, it's really important to open up and talk about how you feel. But as well as that, it's important to listen, and I think your show really illustrates that beautifully. As a company, and
as a show, has the show really helped you to recognise when somebody needs to talk and they're not necessarily saying, and how do you kind of start those conversations or go about trying to get it out of them?
I've been with this show just over a year now. I was very, very lucky to be offered a place on the Norwegian Escape, one of the cruise ships that this show's on. Before that time in my life, it was a pretty dark place for me. After a lot of vision and of those troubles aside, but one of the main factors for me overcoming that was the choir of man and the camaraderie that I made with the lads that I met over there. And I was a week late as well because I was late for my medical and all the other things that I needed to get done. But I was welcomed as if I'd been there from the get-go. And the same with these guys as well. I stepped in as emergency cover, and I think was it February this year, first time on a West End stage, West End debut, and they welcomed me like I was literally like I've been doing it since 1.0. And that's the beauty of this show. It doesn't matter who you are, you come in, you're one of us. And the same for everyone who comes into the jungle every night. You're one of us. And it's something very, very special about this show. Yeah.
I'd say to that, you never actually know what someone's going through, is my kind of answer to that. But what I think we can all do, not just because of this show, is not ask someone how they are, actually ask them if they're okay. Ask it twice if you have to. Are you okay? Yeah, good. No, are you actually okay? Like, do you know what I mean? Offer that safe space. But yeah, it's important to know that you don't actually know what everyone's going through, so be kind.
Yeah, there's also like over the years, when you get to know somebody so well, you start to work out by their noisiness or silence what's kind of going on. But I've noticed in a lot of the dressing room situations, wherever I've been around the world, sometimes it is silence. It's an odd one, but sometimes some of the guys will just come and sit with you. They won't talk. They'll just sit, and sometimes that's enough. It's like, so you get a sixth sense, and we do a lot of talking. We do a lot of focusing in on mental health. But that can also get a bit draining sometimes if you're doing it all the time. Hey, look how constant I am with my mental health. And sometimes you just need a bit of peace. And I think we get a symbiosis, an ethereal symbiosis, where you end up just understanding and being, and that can be everything. Or Rob will pick the guitar up and everything will be fine.
Yeah, to me, in the show, I think there's a very kind of smart thing that happens in the writing of the show, where, so in Ben's scene, when he's doing his big tap solo, the precursor to that is his character downs a whole pint in one go, or like almost a whole pint in one go, and all of us who are regulars and know him know that for his character, that's out of character for him. And then a little bit later, the maestro's at the piano trying to get through singing 500 miles, and he also downs a whole pint, but for him, that's kind of normal, and he can hold his drink. That's just kind of part of the way he is. And so to me, I just think that's so smart, because actually, it's like there's no one thing that is necessarily a signal of how somebody's doing or how they're not doing. It's more like if something is out of character, if you've taken the time to observe them and like observe their behavior, and they come in one day and it's like, oh, like something feels off, and like being kind of sensitive to that, I think it's a very big thing. It's not necessarily, although men as a stereotype do need to talk more for sure, but I think sometimes you also need that security of just being able to like sit with your friends and know that you're okay not talking in a way as well, accepted as you are.
Beautiful. Guys, thank you so much. Right, we're going to do a little bit of a switcheroo now. We're going to do get you guys around the table.